Alrighty, welcome back, y'all. So, today is going to be part 3 of working on putting the little gazebo together. It rained yesterday. I kind of threw this thing up night before because I knew it was going to rain yesterday. And I was like, oh, that'll work to keep the rain off me, and I could go ahead and work on building these little roof sections out. But what I didn't plan on is I kind of tightened the ropes too much, pulled the tarp back this way, which, well, water follows this. So then it was just dripping down on me inside of me. Unfortunate, right? But it is what it is. So yesterday, didn't bother working on this, but we did go ahead and go over the new workout plan, what's going to be happening for our next training block when we start that on probably Monday. So, got that video knocked out. And so today we're going to go ahead and get into working on getting the roof panels built because they're designed to be done down here and then slid up into place. Excuse me. But, so with that, I already kind of laid out this first one, just kind of figuring out how the pieces go together. And there is more that goes on here, but this is just the next step of where it's going to be. So now I found the screws for it already. So now we'll be able to just go ahead and get the screws knocked out, figure out how the next part goes together. It says to build both of these at once. So I'll go ahead and build them both just on top of each other. And then we'll get into the next step here. So with that, let me get you guys swapped over to time lapse. We'll get this going. So, now that we have the frames done up here, I'm going to go ahead and get into the time lapse of putting the sheeting on. And then, the roof panels will be put together, at least for the step they're at now. Then there's going to be having to try to get them up there. Will be interesting. Will be interesting. That'll probably take 2 people. The material there is going to be pretty heavy. I could probably do it myself if I come up with some sort of little ramp spiel, which I might do, just to try to get them up there fairly easily. That might be the best path. It's just literally putting a couple the 2x6s up there and just kind of sliding it up. But we'll see. I might just try to pick them up, which could be easier, could be harder. Not sure. I know there's 2 lips on each side for them to go onto, so it's not like they're going to fall through. It's just actual lifting part. So I'm kind of not looking forward here. But with that, let me go ahead and get the time lapse of building this thing in there, and then we'll keep on trucking. Alrighty, guys. Well, so freaking kind of started to drizzle a little bit, but it stopped for now. But I am going to call it a day there. But what we did do, this panel here, screwed in, moved, taken care of. Then we got all the other material moved over to here. There's the ridge cap and the other little flashing trim pieces, and there's a couple little pieces under there. A bunch of brackets still underneath there. But we're getting there. Not too bad. We built 2 roof frame assemblies, and we got one of them sheeted. So not going to be not too upset about that progress there. I will say, doing the sheeting panels is probably the hardest part for me so far. So, because it's the only thing that's actually required reading a tape measure at this point. Which, as you can believe, super hard to see all those little tick marks these days. So, struggle with that a bit, but we were able to measure it up, get it squared up within a 1/16, and then get the panels on for what they call out. They want like an 1/8 of an inch of push in from the side when you start your first panel. 1/8 inch seems a little because then you end up with like just over, right about a 1/4 inch on the finished side. So I don't know, I might try to split that difference, do like 3/16 or just a smidge over 1/4, or 1/8 I mean. So it's probably what I'll do, is like 3/16, and it should split that gap for the second panel. And then they call out a 5/16 overhang on the bottom of the panel to the face of the roof. So the bottom edge of the roof. So that little measurement there, you want to make sure you double check that on each bottom corner as you lay the sheets down. So that way you know that you're keeping square as you run along, because if you're not square, you'll notice that the panel will be like a 1/16 or an 1/8 one direction more than the other. And you just got to kind of bump the framing into place. It all kind of flexes and moves a little bit, but it's kind of expected for something like this. You know, you're not stick framing it from the bottom up. So you're able to bump things square enough to where when it goes together, it shouldn't have any problem. So that is where we're going to leave off for today. Before it actually starts deciding to just dump rain, I'm going to get my butt back inside. So with that, guys, this is part number 3. Make sure you're working towards your goals, getting your stuff done, and most of all, just don't be a lazy fuck.